Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. Bump, bop. It's so obviously fake. Debunking Meghan Markle's most suspicious pregnancy. I even suspected Harry was in on the fake with her. Alright, let's get digging together with me. Very pleased to welcome you back to my channel. Meghan had an official visit to Mayhew as a member of the royal family, while pregnant with her son Archie in 2019. But during this visit, the Duchess of Lyre revealed her pregnant belly when wearing a tight ivory white dress. She squatted down at the charity event even though she was pregnant to keep patting the dogs. She even wore high-heeled shoes and still didn't feel any problem, and many people started asking questions related to her pregnancy. That is she lying about it? And by the way, I dare you to strap around a 5 or even 10 pounds bag of sugar to your midsection and still try doing that in heels unassisted. You cannot. If you managed to get down and come up again, you would have had to ensure that your center of gravity dropped back between your heels and shoved your bum out for balance and momentum so that you could unfold your legs to stand. That's about the most sophisticated biomechanical fact of the female body that there is. It really doesn't matter how much yoga she does, how fit she becomes, there is only so much way a human body can bend. And when I say with a body that big, there is simply no way a woman could do that, no way. To those who said that Catherine did it, good for you. She did not. She attempted to squat, but halfway down, she just occurs to have a child. She only squatted halfway before staggering a little and standing up. You think that's difficult? Just wait until your sugar grows up and has her very little ones, yeah. There are films that I watch repetitively. You can observe the actual stomach pop out. You should observe the stomach, not the coat. There's a pop when she's performing with animals. When her tummy is flat, then, it pops back up round, then she hurries to cover it with her hand. Look at the spot she covers with her hand right before she covers it. That's what convinced me when she stood up. I can just recall, at this point, it would be once I had a relative with very significant pregnancy. I would require a hand to quickly get up off the floor. I would never haven't been able to bend over with only my knees. Even apart, your knees should be bent, a very uncomfortable pose. Which would also be seen in the fact that when that pop sound happens, one may see that it moves her coat right at the area where it had been squished in, with the direction of that movement coming from her body and not towards her, as it would be if the people claiming it is a door closing were the ones making that sound. If ever she had been pregnant in her 40-plus years, there were things she did that I felt a pregnant woman cannot possibly do. Oh, but the woman of the dark complexion sitting next to her seemed to doubt that pregnancy, and not just her eyes seemed to monitor her face. Next is Harry. We have to see from his actions whether that precious husband of hers is indeed an accomplice of her faking a pregnancy. But even more telling is not even the fact that Meghan is not pregnant, but that it was revealed in her conduct. And here is Harry's. Never once did he offer his arm to help her down from one of these close-kneed squats, not once. Step beside and extend an arm around her for her to use him for balance while standing up, or does any sort of protective maneuver that you'd expect a loving husband-father would do. He is always indifferent, while standing very far away, usually with the photographers. And to me, that's a very big tell that Em wasn't pregnant. He wouldn't even dare dream of letting Meghan fall to the floor if nothing else, then as at least for the baby's sake. You know, with that same story in their mockumentary. When Meghan talked about the racist death threats she gets, death threats she actually considered real, and she even teared up and said that she's trying to avoid going to those dark places, Harry never reached out to give her a comforting pat or rub. Either he's the coldest husband alive, or what Meghan was talking about never happened. He knows he doesn't keep everything away at arm's length in romantic relationships. He's clearly been affected by those lawsuits years ago of the role of the press in the running of his relationship with Chelsea Davy. My rationale, again, I'm left is that Meghan is lying. Hence, he was a part of the deceit. How can they live with him, and he doesn't know that Meghan is costume all that time? Perhaps he will not know that way a pregnant woman really is used to and how Meghan is really used to dominating. Even his accounts of the birth of his daughter are suspiciously strange in his memoir. And not even one concrete story of morning sickness, craving, how it feels to feel your bump growing, but instead, what we hear is all and only the most generic terms about this pregnancy or even the children. Had she had real stories, she would have milked every moment but was content to just flick her coat and show the bump in the most prominent way possible. The optics were all she had. But when things got weirder than the whole pregnancy and giving birth thing, I started thinking, I bet she's used a surrogate because she can't get pregnant. The thing is, if they weren't too hung up about the line of succession, and if the kids were by surrogate, they might champion adoption or surrogacy. Not that everyone is pro-surrogacy. The story also comes back to Mayhew's days as a royal, based on the much more prominent job nowadays being done by Queen Camilla for groups supporting animals. Harry mercifully went to Charles's side to help him speak of himself, as he stated in Las Vegas a few days back, somebody who knows completely the depth of the king's illness. A few days afterward, during the interview, he found out he would do so the following week in Whistler. He took these trips and provided plenty of time holding talks on engagement with the first people in Canada. Then, according to the articles, there were also numerous hot talks concerning Harry's readiness to get back to royal service, and if he was secure, he would like to have a compact position as a royal Commonwealth viceroy. They do whatever they can to reinforce their insecure regal status by gaining anything about the real royals. Incidentally, what do you think about Meghan's featured baby? And what do you think of this so-called complicity of Harry once again? Even now, there are no pictures of the Sussex children available, but I am sure we will not see them anyway. The children are not entitled to go out, and I feel bad if the kids are genuine. Summing up all that has been said, I think this opens a lot of stimulating thoughts and deepens my understanding. I appreciate your comment because it gave rise to new facets of the subject and we could view it from various angles. That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.